Hello everyone and welcome to my supports overview. Just want to give a quick video about how to get them, where to find them and how to use them. So to start with, you get them by completing missions in the last stand, which you get a ticket for each day. You will always get a certain amount every week, depending on how well you do on the leaderboards. Obviously, if you come first, you get loads. If you're in the top 50%, you'll get 120. You'll also get some each day from doing the last stand, depending on how many waves you complete. Once you've got enough tokens to unlock them, I believe it's 500, you can then find your supports in your survivor screen, and then you hit the supports tab. This will tell you how many tokens you have and how many you need to either unlock or promote them. So you've got Shiva, Dog and Whisperer's Mask. Each one of these gives you a special action in a mission, and you need to assign one to each of your survivors. So if we go into a mission, you'll see them. I've got them assigned, so let's take them off. This is what it will look like originally. When you want to assign a survivor, a support to a survivor, you click the support button and then you can choose which one you want. So I'm going to give Maggie Shiva, Eugene Dog and Sasha Whisperer's Mask. So each survivor can only use the support which is assigned to them in the mission, and in normal missions you can only use them once per mission, and you can only use one support per turn. So you can't use Shiva, Dog and Whisperer's Mask all on the same turn. What they look like in the mission: there's a symbol next to each of the portraits which shows you what they are, and I'll go through how to use each of them and what their uses are, and try and give some good scenarios of where they're effective. What I'll do first though is give you a brief overview, a brief description of what they do. So Shiva will hit everything that is visible on the screen, and it will do a percentage of their remaining health. And it'll do a percentage of their total health plus 15% of your weapon damage. So it's often a good idea to have Shiva on the survivor who has the highest weapon damage, which is usually a shooter or a scout. Although the damage itself isn't the most useful thing on this. As you can see, all these walkers are currently wandering, which is fine sometimes. You don't want them to come with you and towards you, and you want to take them out one at a time. But there are times when you want to bring them all towards you. This could be on maps where it's killer walkers and you've got a spy team and you want to get as many walkers close to you as possible to be able to build a stun wall or have a lot of walkers stunned to get charged back up on. If you use Shiva, it hits them all and they all become aggressive. Now it is only walkers you can actually see, so any walkers which are in blind corners, like next to this car, behind this car here, then they won't be affected by it. Another good use for Shiva would be for getting the attention of heavy tank walkers, spikes, where you're on a kill the tough walker map, for instance, and you've got a nice wall built up to protect you, but the tank is miles away and you can't get it on fire for whatever reason, then you can use Shiva, get its attention, it'll walk towards you, then get into range, and then you can fire on it attack it whilst staying nicely protected by your wall. As I say, the damage it does, as you can see, is minimal. At this level it's 5%, and at higher levels it does, every time you level it up it goes up 1%, which isn't massive, let's be honest. Up to, I think it's 10% at level 5, which is years away at the rate we're getting tokens. The next support I can show you is Dog. Dog, in its simplest form, cripples a walker, and it should be the closest walker to you, which technically should be that one, and it was. That means that walker can only move one space. There are lots of nuances to Dog, and one of the best things about Dog is that you can free a struggling walker with it, and I'll show you about that later. You'll also notice that once I've used Dog, the others are greyed out, because as I said earlier, you can only use one per turn. And the last support we have is Whisperer's Mask. It's very tricky to use, but basically you select it, and then you can drag your finger, and it will herd, at level 1, herd one walker in this circle. It's random, you can't choose which one. I find a better way to use it is to try and position it so that you're only hitting the walker you want to herd when you got it guaranteed. And also notice how it's moving Sasha, so it's showing you the range you can run to. What it can be good for is if you've got Beta in lead and there's one at the end you can't herd, you can herd with Beta and then run someone else behind the herd, the one in front. I'll go into more tactics with it later on in the video. The other thing to be aware of is, as far as I'm aware, if you touch the screen like this and bring it out, there's no way to cancel it unless the circle will not herd a walker. So if you're stood next to so I can do that, no targets within range. If I move Sasha down here and do it again, now it looks like it's not going to do anything there, but if I release my finger, it will herd that walker. It's a real pain in the backside if you're just trying to check out what you can and can't do. I really hope they fix it, but it's something to be aware of. Anyway, once they're herded, they act like they've been herded by Beta, and they will walk towards you but not attack. Same as when herding with Beta though. If you leave someone in Overwatch and they attack it when it moves, it will unherd it and attack the person it's walking to. So that's the brief overview. I'll now try and set up some good examples of how to use it effectively with some more advanced techniques for using them. Here's a good use for using Dog to cripple an enemy. So we've got, I've just used Ezekiel's attack and didn't stun this one with the Morning Star. So what I'm going to do, rather than take a hit, is going to use Dog. Now, as we know, we're hoping it's going to cripple this one here to avoid Beth taking a hit, or one of my players taking a hit. So I'm going to use it, double tap the symbol. It's crippled this one, which means it's only going to be able to move one, and then I can move everyone else back out the way safely and make it to the exit. Another good use for Dog is that when a walker is crippled, you can run past them without the risk of getting caught. So it can be useful when trying to dash for a line and you've got a single walker in front of you. Here you can see my assault is struggling, and I'm not sure if my scout's going to be able to take it down. So what I can do is move next to the walker and then use dog to cripple it, which then frees the survivor, and you can either run away or kill it or go from there basically. So what you need to do is make sure that dog is going to cripple the right walker. Since the most recent update, you can actually preview this just by selecting dog, and it will just highlight the ones that are going to be affected. If you need to move closer, you may need to. If you're stood next to it, it's pretty much guaranteed to be the one you need. But it's really useful to use dog in this way, so I hope it helps. So here's a good use of a Whisperer's Mask. And what I've got is a walker here, which is going to hit beta. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the mask, and what I want to do is make sure that I'm only selecting the one I can see, and the one I want to herd. So not that one, because it could hit either the top one or the bottom one. And I've done that. Now what's going to happen is this one is not going to be able to reach Glenn, so it's going to wander off, and I'm hoping there's nothing around the corner that's going to come and get me. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep these ones stunned, try and stun as many as I can, and hopefully this one will wander off, which means I can then move into this spot to hopefully make my way towards the exit. And here you'll see that I'm using mask to I'm going to stand next to beta, but this walker in the middle here will get to me, so I need to herd it towards me. So you need to find a space where it's the only one being herded, and then I can safely do it. If the line had turned blue whilst I was trying to herd, then that would have been my full move, and I wouldn't have been able to move on to the space I want. So just be careful when using mask to make sure that the line stays white if you're wanting to move again afterwards. And here I just want to show you with mask that even though it doesn't show that you are, you can actually herd on your way whilst using mask. So for instance here, if I wasn't sure I'd be able to take that 34 down, but wanted to herd them, I couldn't do it safely without that one attacking me, for instance. You can use mask and just run along and herd it, and it's herded those ones as well as that one. It's quite a handy little thing to be able to do, especially if you know what's around the corner, so you're not going to get grabbed anyway. And you can actually run further with mask, I find, than without. So hopefully that'll help. This one's probably quite an obvious use of Shiva, but basically when you've got a walker with very low health and it's in the way or you're going to get hit by it, as long as you don't mind making all the walkers on the board aware, then you can use it to kill a walker and get out of the way or avoid the hit. Obviously it has to be very low health for it to work. Since I started putting this video together about supports, we've had an update. A couple of changes on it is that we've had 2 new ones. The Commonwealth Armour, which gives you status effect invulnerability, as well as gaining charge points when you're hit when using it. And I'm showing to Rainbow Cat, which gives you a charge point and gives a chance to give a charge point to one of your teammates as well. Both going to be really useful, and I will do a couple of videos showing them in use once I've unlocked them, which might be a little while, to be fair. They've also changed how they look on the mission screen, where they're greyed out until you select the survivor who's got them. But you'll see that you'll have seen that in some of my later videos I did for this video. Anyway, I really hope you found this useful, and if you got any comments, please leave them below, and I'll see you around. Thanks for watching.